This is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting, chat. This is going to be interesting. Development blog. Changes to submarines and ASW. Exterior system update. Airship Escort and more. Close test 13.1. So this is the Wargaming's promise. This is the EU NAC servers. This is Wargaming's promised changes to ASW and subs, because, well, even Wargaming after a couple of years has finally been forced to admit that subs are an absolutely demented, awful design. It took them a long time to admit it, but hey, acceptance is the first step. Okay, changes to submarines and ASW. We're excited to unveil some additional details about our previously announced changes to submarines and ASW. With these changes, we are aiming to create more consistent interactions between submarines and surface ships while still maintaining the current level of combat effectiveness of submarines. First, we're making a few changes to surface ship ASW, which are outlined below. The Venezia and Hindenburg lines, as well as Prince Eugen and Admiral Schröder, will receive depth charge airstrikes instead of depth charges that they currently have. Yes! Yes! Oh man! Hindenburg in particular. Holy shit, Hindenburg needed that. Holy god, Hindenburg against subs is the worst experience in the world. You handle like a battleship, you do 32 knots or something if you do the slightest maneuver, and you're forced to hunt down a sub that does 40 knots. It's ridiculous. Nothing about the Dutch though, which makes me still believe that this is not that they don't want to, they just don't know how to code it. At this point I'm pretty convinced it's a coding thing, they don't know how to code it. Tier 5 to 8 battleships will receive an increase in the depth charge airstrike range. Both Tier 5 and 8 battleships and cruisers will have their depth charge airstrike cooldown reduced. To balance this, the bomb damage will also be slightly reduced for these ships. This means that you will be able to use depth charge airstrike more often, but with a lower damage output per use. The problem is they promised to us, I remember when they promised us that they would make it so that when you switch to your ASW, your guns wouldn't turn. Your guns would stay where you were pointed, and then you could switch your ASW, you can line up your ASW and drop it, and then you could go back to shooting whatever you wanted to shoot. However, that promise fell apart really quickly. I think they could never figure out how to code it. What's ASW? Anti-submarine warfare. It's basically, yeah, ways of dealing with subs. Yeah. Now they promised us that we would be able to do so that when we switch to the airstrike, our guns stay locked where they were aimed. But they never. It worked for like 1 to 2 patches and broke, and then they never talked about it again. Can't you already lock your guns with keys? Yes, but always having to manually lock your guns if you're quickly, like subs get spotted very quickly. They're briefly spotted, sometimes only minimap spotted, and you need to quickly drop ASW on them. You generally tend to not have time to lock your guns and shit. And also, just convenience. Just like, it worked a couple of patches, then they somehow broke it and fucked it up, and then we never got it back. And this is especially frustrating nowadays because you'll switch to ASW, and then the sub disappears or he's maneuvering, so you're waiting some time to line up the strike. Like, you don't want to drop instantly, you want to see where he's going, you want to lead the strike because of the delay, and then it takes you so long that your battleship guns are turning all over the place, and then by the time you finally drop, you go back to your BB and your turrets are pointed everywhere, and it's I wish they would re-add that feature that they broke. Ships that currently have special ASW settings will not be receiving any changes unless specifically noted. Okay. Depth charge airstrike parameters for all tiers. Okay, 5k on cruisers. Tier 10 cruisers, 8k, 4.9k, 2 bombs. Tier 5 BBs. Tier 10 BBs will have 11 km ASW. What's the current? Isn't it 10 right now? The fact that tier 8 BBs get 10 is pretty nice. Is it the same? 11. So what was the change? Is this the current one? And what are they changing it to? Or it's 11. Didn't they say they were... Oh, it's just a tier 5 to 8. They're not touching tier 10 at all. Okay, so it's just these guys that are getting... These guys are getting the buffs. Cruiser ASW is very questionable though, considering that cruisers suffer from improved homing from the subs, and all the tools that cruisers... Like, cruisers get brutalized very hard when they're spotted, because a large part of their survival depends on concealment, unlike BBs who have armor. Cruisers have ways to deal with usually with this spotting. Either they have a lot of AA to prevent plane spotting, well, a lot of AA, or they have tools like radar and hydro to spot anyone who's spotting them. The problem with subs is that they're immune to hydro, they're immune to radar, and now the ASW range is just not long enough. And I feel like the ship that should be doing best against subs is kind of not that strong against them compared to the BBs. Like, it would make sense to me that BBs would be the weakest class against subs, but I feel BBs are the strongest class against subs because of the poor homing against them and the sheer amount of ASW you can throw out. Anyway, let's see. Commonwealth. Oh, here's the new cruiser line. 8, 8, 9, 10, 10. Oh, so this new cruiser line gets the 10 km ASW. Whereas the standard one is 7, 7, 8. This is 9, 10, 10, and then 11. Interesting. So 10, 10, 10, 11 versus 7, 7, 8. Bomb damage is, however, lower, but in return you get 3 charges, whereas these guys only have 2 charges. So you can drop three sets. Interesting. Ships with special ASW parameters. Okay. So these are being changed. Wait. No, these are not getting any changes. Canaria, Siegfried, Eger, Michong, 7. Julius Caesar, 4 km. Jesus. Okay. Massa 5, Musashi 5. This just highlights to me that... wait, what's Massachusetts' current ASW? What is Massachusetts' current ASW? 5. So it's remaining completely unchanged. It's remaining completely unchanged. But this just emphasizes to me that they could change them, they just don't want to. Subs and ASW have been... Yeah, this is 5 as well. But yeah, exactly. It's a really dumb way of nerfing old OP ships. Like, these are old BBs that are considered extremely overpowered for their tier. Massachusetts is probably one of the best tier 8 BBs in the game, a clearly overpowered premium. Julius Caesar is absolutely an overpowered premium, and Musashi is more of a tier 10 than a tier 9. So this is their way of artificially nerfing ships while holding on to their promise of not nerfing premiums after they've sold them. Because these ships were all sold back in the day when they promised not to change ships after they were sold. So this was before they added the disclaimer, the ship might change, yada yada yada. This was before. So these are ships that Wargaming promised they won't change. So now they're not technically changing them, they're just giving them a new feature that is significantly worse than everyone else at their tier. So this is Wargaming's way of wiggling around their promise of not nerfing old premiums by basically nerfing old premiums. So that's the whole point of this. That's the whole point of this. Depth charge airstrike, nerf them against the clans with no skill. Yeah, basically. Depth charge airstrike range will increase for Ohio, Thunder, Jean Bart, and Jean Bart B. It will become similar to the ranges of the other battleships at their tier. Jeez, they don't consider Thunder to be overpowered anymore, do they? They actually gave the Thunder the same ASW as the other ones. I guess with St. Vincent in the game, Thunder isn't even that bad anymore. That's fucking brutal. Ohio gets the new one as well. Ohio used to be considered quite OP when it came out, and Thunder absolutely OP, but the power creep on BBs has been so obscene that they don't even consider them an issue anymore. Venetian, Zhao, and Yoda lines, as well as the upcoming Commonwealth line, will receive the submarine surveillance consumable in a separate slot. Yeah, we talked about this. Then putting it on 3 backline ships is very questionable. Like, having ways to spot subs, great, but just making it so Hydra spot subs would have been much better. Because now you get a whole new consumable, and the ships that can use this consumable are generally backline ships. Venezia will rarely be pushed up to a rock or to an island anywhere close. Yoda most certainly not. Zhao can use its stealth, but most of the time Zhao will be kiting away spamming HE. That's what it does. So it's a weird selection to choose. Also, yeah, the ranges are 7 km submarine surveillance, tier 10. 7 km submarine surveillance. Yeah. Did they say they don't want Hydra to spot subs? Well, the fact that they made, well, they used to spot them, but then they made a lot of exclusions for them. Back in the day, Hydra did spot subs, but then they made it more and more impossible as patches went on, because, well, basically you actually needed to have some positional awareness in a submarine, like in a destroyer. In a DD, you can't just run into a cap against a radar or a Hydra; you're gonna get killed. But subs kept doing it. They kept running into the middle of the map against Radar and Hydra, and they got themselves killed instantly. They also tended to proxy spot each other because both subs would run into the middle at the same time, spot each other, mutual destruction. So Wargaming had to compensate for the fact that the player base has zero interest in learning any positional skills while playing subs. So first they removed the proxy spotting, so subs can't spot each other, and then they removed basically every way of spotting them to begin with, so that subs can basically be that retarded monkey that runs into the porcelain shop and just breaks everything, and no one is allowed to do anything about it. It is what it is. Since it's a new consumable, Wargaming may now cherry pick ships that won't influence sub gameplay. Basically, yes. It's extremely baffling that Royal Navy ships, for example, don't get submarine surveillance, considering they were, well, they were the leaders in ASW to begin with, for obvious reasons. The Atlantic and multiple issues they had with submarines. They were the main developers of many of these. Same with the Americans, but instead the IGN and the Italian lines get submarine surveillance. It's just, I know we should never argue realism. I've said it before, realism has no place in the game, but it is somewhat tragic to see how much further and further we are moving from anything resembling actual historical influence to Wargaming's fantasy. The Brit and USD, should be the prime sub hunters. They should, but okay, so these guys get 7 km, the new guys get 8 km on the tier 9 and 10. Tier 9 and 10 gets 8 km ASW, or submarine spotting. The only one I see interesting here is Stealth Venezia. If you suspect there's a sub around, could you run in with smoke, pop your sub spotting, drop ASW, have your teams pop ASW, and then run away? But even that seems like so many what ifs, hopiums, copiums, and consumable usage and risks taken just to spot the submarine. And we don't know if they're gonna give it like a cooldown. They like subs have their sub surveillance, their own sub surveillance, and that thing comes with an artificial cooldown, something like 5 minutes at the start of the game. And the reason why they added that 5-minute cooldown was also part of this. You know how destroyers have to be careful so they don't run into a cap if there's a radar cruiser, because the radar is going to be there to spot them. Well, for subs, despite submarine surveillance being a thing, subs would just run straight in and both would pop sub surveillance and they would kill each other. So once again, instead of having the player base learn and adapt in any way, Wargaming held their hand and they added an artificial cooldown on submarine surveillance that is 5 minutes long. Once again, so the monkey can run into the porcelain shop and no one can do anything about it. It all comes down to that. Wargaming having such disrespect towards the submarine player base that they have zero expectations, and every time something is an issue, they just change the way it plays. So I'm wondering if they're gonna add a cooldown to the submarine surveillance on cruisers the same way it is on submarines. I'm thinking they will. Because otherwise, there's a risk that Zhao pushes into a cap with a DD or something, and he Submarine shows up and he uses submarine surveillance and the sub dies. And we all know that would be a tragedy. A sub being punished for poor positioning? No, that's not allowed. That's illegal. So I'm thinking it's probably going to have a cooldown as well. Next, we have some additional information. Thank you, Renegade Troll, for the 25. When the DD needs cruiser support to handle a sub. Don't question it, bro. Next, we have some additional information about changes to the Hydrophone consumable available on submarines. This consumable will have the following characteristics. This consumable will allow submarines to immediately spot ships in range, regardless of terrain, similar to hydroacoustic search and surveillance radar. Okay. So wait. Subs can spot you through islands, but you can't spot them underneath you with Hydra. Anyway, the consumable can be activated in any state, on the surface, at periscope depth, or operational depth, but will only detect ships at periscope depth or on the surface. Okay. So this is going to be like people radaring a spawn. People are going to be popping this consumable underwater and not understanding why it doesn't work. When submarines use hydrophone to detect ships above them and in their line of sight, static silhouettes of these ships will appear for a short period, about 6 seconds, and then disappear. Ships behind terrain will be displayed as a short flash without a silhouette. Okay, so that's how they're gonna appear. And so that's the guy behind the island. Briefly spotted. Okay, well that's certainly a heavy nerf to the way it works now. That's certainly a heavy nerf to how it works now. I mean, it used to be even dumber. Keep in mind that right now it's even dumber. Right now it allows you to track everyone around you without them knowing you're tracking them. Like, this is dumb, but at least it's a nerf compared to what we have now. Like, you think this looks dumb? The current hydrophone is so giga stupid. The current hydrophone is so bafflingly fucking stupid. Isn't it like, here you can see it? Yeah, like, this is what it looks like now. So having that removed is actually a really good thing. Sub hydrophone looks like this right now. You pop it, you see exactly where everyone is, you see where they are, like it's updating on a minimap around him. You can line up, you can see exactly where he is. He doesn't even know who's being spotted. Only now does he know there's a sub here. Like, the ability to use this bullshit ability to dive like cruisers in the middle of the enemy team and just one-shot them, that's, and in a tier 8 sub of all things, like killing a tier 10 cruiser, like that's a fucking issue. So limiting it to just this brief thing is much better. I hope it also lets the player know that they've just been detected, because that's an important thing. The players need to know when they're being spotted by bullshit. We're adding a collision warning message for submarines that are underwater, and there's another underwater submarine within 2 kilometers. Why not just add proxy spotting back, like every other class has? This message will appear even if the enemy submarine isn't spotted and will disappear as soon as it leaves the 2 km radius in any direction, including resurfacing. It's important to note that if there happens to be several submarines in the vicinity, the message won't be any different. Bro. This is... I talked about the monkey in the porcelain shop. Well, this is a logical follow-up. When they removed all proxy spotting and they removed all ways to spot subs, what would happen every now and then is subs would ram into other subs and neither could see each other, and they would be the mutual destruction. And this is what Wargaming hates: subs killing themselves and being removed from the game. So they added this to let these guys know in another way that, hey, watch out, retard alert, there's another ape around, so the 2 monkeys in the porcelain shop don't like collide. So this is a conclusion. Like, they're making so many bad choices that they're kind of painting themselves into a corner with bad choices. That's the submarine design. They're defending subs from subs, yes. They're defending subs from being rammed by subs. Yeah, this ship danger so. Bro. Okay, bro. Finally, to balance out the changes in ASW, we'll improve the turning circle radius of all subs so that they have the opportunity to better maneuver and reposition. On average, their turning circle will become around 20% better. 20% better. $20 better. What the fuck? Wait, hold on. How good is their turning circle right now? Who has the best turning radius in the game? This is all tier 8 to tier 11 subs and destroyers. Best turning circles in the game. Sub. Black. Benham, Fletcher, Loyang, black. Salmon, sub. They are already among the best turning circles in the game. They're already among the best turning circles in the game. Like, subs stop here. And then, no, we got two. The Gato and the I-52. R-56 here. Like, they've already have some of the best handling in the entire game. Like, just flat out. No one handles as well as they do. They already have insane handling. And not to mention the fact, of course, that they can go up and down. They can change their elevation and so forth. So now they're going to have 20% better. So U4501, which has a 350 meter turning circle, is going to have a 280 meter turning circle. Half the turning circle of the closest destroyer, which is the black. What? Salmon has 580. So 120 gone. 460 meter turning circle. So the turning circle on all subs is basically going to be the best in the game by a mile. But they already handle so well. They already handle so well. Whatever. I'm not sure they need to handle well, though. I think the problem at this point is the problem doesn't lie in how well the ship handles. The problem lies between the keyboard and the chair. This is like they're balancing the subs against plane-based ASW. But what about DD is trying to run down subs now? You're trying to run down a sub that is just as fast, if not faster than you are, and now he's got half your turning circle. So what do you do when he turns away like this, and you turn away like this, and then he just goes dark, because you can't keep up? Like, this is... They're balancing it against the new plane changes to ASW, but they're doing absolutely nothing about the issue, which is that DDs already suffer when it comes to hunting down subs, and now they're going to suffer even harder. Yeah, I'm a bit... It's gonna make shotgunning easier as well. Yeah, it's gonna make shotgunning so much easier, isn't it? Because you can turn around and instantly drop torps and that. We'll see. The thing is, like, they gave us all these ASW advantages, but then they took them all away by making it so much easier to evade them. Thank you, Zoops. And Renegade Troll, I did thank. Exterior system update. Starting with update 13.1, the majority of expendable camouflages available in the game will get their permanent versions that you can either purchase or obtain through various activities, missions, and events. New permanent camos will operate similarly to already existing permanent camos such as New Year, Epoch, or Steel camos, however, they won't be locked to a specific tier. This is probably a response to, honestly, one of the worst reworks Wargaming ever did, and that's the camouflage rework, where they removed all the bonuses from camos, but then they kept their price really high, and then they were like, surely people will buy this still. And I've never seen as many gray ships as there are in the game right now. Like, if someone is playing a non-premium ship, they're running around in a gray ship. Like, no one runs camos anymore. So people just sold them all. That's what most people did. Like, that was one of the most popular tricks. Hey, this is how you can sell all your camos right now and make a lot of money. Like, they killed their own permanent camo thing, or their own camouflage design. They're like that entire part of the art they flushed down the drain by themselves. So I guess this is a response to that. You can link permanent camos for free to ships as long as you have enough copies. Unlike permanent camos are stored in your inventory. Once you link a permanent camo to a ship, it will remain linked to that ship and cannot be unlinked. It's also important to note that once you link the permanent camo, you will no longer be able to use the expendable version of that same camo on that ship. Another important thing is you can't sell these camouflages. I rest my case. They literally added a new camo that you can't fucking sell, because that's all people did. They fucking sold it. Shit. You can't sell these camos. Oh man. For standard, single-colored, abstract and thematic camouflages, once you obtain an expendable or permanent camo of this type on your account, you unlock the ability to purchase its permanent version on all your ships. You can purchase permanent, standard, single, abstract, thematic camouflages for credits or doubloons. When purchasing a permanent camo in the exterior tab, it will be automatically linked to your ship. You can find the exact prices in the table below. Holy shit. So they're hoping people will... Yeah, we'll see how much. Like, maybe people who have a lot of credits might go for some of these, but... 9 million for perma. They still don't do anything, though. And if anything, what we've seen is once they made them kind of irrelevant in terms of benefits, very few people have bothered with them. Getting them for credits is good, though. I like that you can buy the permas for credits. That's a step in the right direction. But right now, what is weird to me here is, right now, a permanent camouflage costs 200 dubs, I'm pretty sure. 200 dubs. So permanent camos are 200. So why the fuck? The bionic one is 1.2, but this one is 200. Only first. It's a discount. Oh shit, yeah. If you buy multiple ones, that's when you get the full price, huh? Only for the first camo. Still, whenever something can be bought by in-game credits, that's generally a pretty good thing. So I'm not gonna diss this. I'm not gonna diss this because this is being able to buy things for in-game credits is always a good change. Always a good thing. Anything you can farm easily and spend on it, that's good. And credits is one of the few least monetized resources they have right now. I mean, they monetize it in some way by selling you the best boosters, which then give you much more credits. But it's not directly monetized the same way they monetize steel and coal and research bureau and so forth. Can't purchase expendable or permanent versions of trophy and special camos, for example, camouflages for participating in ranked battles or camouflages made in collaborations. The introduction of these permanent camos brings some other changes. You can directly buy credits in premium ship. Yeah, I know it is monetized. Okay, kind of everything is monetized, but credits is something people tend to have an ample amount of. Generally. Unless you're very new and you don't play a lot, then you just spend money. Then you're gonna have to pay for it. Daily rewards at the barge will change. Now there will no longer be an option to choose the more camos container as a reward. In update 13.1, we'll replace expendable camos for their permanent counterparts in collections, campaigns, account leveling rewards, as well as in clan battle missions. In the future, we plan to substitute expendable camos for the permanent versions for some activities, for example, in the following ranked season. Okay. Thank you, Self-Mortar. Airship Escort. Airship Escort is returning to the game as a standalone temporary battle type. Yes, I wish they would make it permanent though. Because it's a great game mode. The problem was they tried to shove it into fucking randoms, which was the issue. In this mode, Players will be tasked with leading their allied airship to its destination before the enemy team does. Players can also achieve victory by destroying the enemy ships. This iteration will use the same rule set that was used before Airship Escort was added to random battles. Tier 8 to 10 ships of any ship type. Bro. If only someone would have told them, if only someone would have informed this glorious developer that knows everything and is immune to listening to the player base and just is so fucking good at developing their own game. If only someone would have told them a while ago that they probably shouldn't try adding this game mode into randoms and they should keep it as a separate game mode. If only someone would have told them, but sadly no one spoke up, chat. You can't blame Wargaming, no one spoke up. There was no one mentioned to them that hey, maybe this shouldn't be added to randoms. Sadly no one told them. Unfortunate. We can't blame the developer. Unfortunate. Sadly the posts were made on the forum. yeah, sorry. They were all forum posts, and we certainly can't blame Wargaming for not having read the forum post when they deleted the forum. So, yeah, bro, this dev is so far up their own ass. It's fucking hilarious. Like they could have avoided this entire shit show if they just for a fucking second listened to the feedback they were getting. But no. As with everything else they do, they know best. Until it turns out they don't know best. Clan battles. A new clan battle season will be launching in update 13.1. This season will have the following format. 7v7. So unique. Tier 10 ships and super ships. Whoa! Submarines and aircraft carriers are not permitted. Wow! Teams are limited to maximum 1 battleship per team. No way! Wow, this is gonna be the greatest season ever. There's no restriction on cruisers destroyers. Wow, we've never seen this before. No more than 1 Petro? Wow, surely no one will pick 1 Petro then. Limited the number of Napoli and Marseille? Surely no one will bring a Napoli as well. Wow, this is gonna be such an epic fucking season. Oh, I wonder what they're gonna bring. Surely not a Petro and a Napoli, perhaps a few Moskvas. Surely not a St. Vincent or Ohio or Kremlin. Or surely not a fucking small one to run around. No way. I've never seen this before. What a fresh new season. I can't wait. Wow. I wonder why the clan battle fucking community is dying out. It's almost like we're playing the same fucking season for the last year over and over again. But man, we can't expect the developer to listen or to learn from the fact that the fucking last King of the Sea had a fucking participation number that looked like this, and fucking clan battles are basically dead on half the servers. But no, let's do the exact same thing we did before. Genius. There's no limit on super ships? Wait, no, what? There has to be. Okay, man, there's gonna be a limit. Wait, what? Huh? Wait, you're right. They will restrict it though. And then it's probably gonna be some really unique super ships that are being played, like, what if someone brings a Conde and someone else brings an Annapolis? Whoa! Crazy! What a fresh new season, man. What a fresh new season. That's gonna be incredible. I've never seen that season before. I've never seen a season like that before. That's gonna be insane. Daily reminder, Wargaming still doesn't think that Conde or Annapolis needs any rebalancing. They just happen to be the one ship everyone brings when you're allowed to bring a super ship to clan battles every fucking time. But clearly not needed. They will. Guaranteed they're gonna fucking limit this. Yeah, but no. Yeah, and it's just gonna be fucking Klebears and Marceau Wolfpacks and like everything we've seen before. I don't understand. Like, it's just no wonder no one fucking cares about CBs anymore. Holy shit. Update 13.1 will bring a plethora of new content into the game. The Dragon Port with updated visuals. Okay, this looks like a really old part though. What have they updated? Huh? What have they updated? Huh? They removed the dragons. The fireworks? But haven't we had that thing before? I mean, it's a nice looking port, don't get me wrong. It's a nice looking port, I don't mind this at all. Thank you, Pimpissy for the 6. But it's just taken from like weird angles. Like this screenshot is taken from behind this thing, it's taken from here. Here it is. It's taken from that perspective in this direction. They removed the dragon. Yeah, by this thing. This is just in the other direction. Lights and stripes over the pagoda, yeah. And they made it darker and added fireworks. Okay, I mean, it's nice. I mean, okay, chat, when you don't have an art department, you do what you can. It is what it is. Commander Nian with an individual voiceover, as well as Commander Taka Kurita and Carol Dorman. Okay. The New Year Beast patch and flag, the Grey Ghost patch, and the USS Enterprise flag. Okay. Why is the map called Dragon when it doesn't have one? Oh yeah, it's only... They took away the dragon. Okay, that's... Don't fuck... That's irrelevant. The Pacific Ghost permanent camo for Enterprise. I like it. Black and white usually goes well. Big E. Wait, where's our Enterprise? I like that one. It looks good. It's a carrier, of course. This is the one we have right now. Which camo was that? I mean, it looks good, I'll give it that. It's very simple, of course, it's just black and white with nothing else on it, but black and white is really a bad color choice. The Battle of Java Sea container and the Battle of Java Sea premium container. Okay. What's in this premium one? One of the following ships. Udachi, Perth, Jupiter, Mineguma. Oh, these are the new ones, huh? Except Udachi and Perth. Jupiter and Mineguma are the new ones. If you already have all the items from the ship's group, you will receive 32,000 free XP. Wow. That's incredible. Interesting. Interesting. Well, I mean, subs are being changed. Subs are being changed. There's going to be new ways to spot them, and the ASW ranges are going to be longer. But in return, the ASW is going to deal less damage, and subs are going to be handling quicker than they used to in the past. On the other hand, their bullshit wallhack cheat skill has been nerfed to some extent, which makes it harder for them to pull off shotguns without someone else spotting for them. They can absolutely still do them, though. That hasn't changed. In fact, until the changes to dynamic torpedo damage and torpedo speed comes live, they're actually probably going to be better at shotgunning than they are now because of the increased rudder shift. Means it's much faster and easier to line up strikes and turn around and line up another strike. So they're probably going to be better at shotguns for a while. Oh well, we'll see. We'll see. Airship Escort, though, returning in 13.1. That's really good. That's really good. That's February patch, right? That's February patch.